Another week of Magic sales means it's also time for another installment of the Top 10. These are the hottest selling cards in Magic the Gathering this week from August 24th to the 31st of 2024. Now, is it possible that Bloomburrow is going to hold on to the top spot and dominate the market for 3 weeks in a row? Well, stick around because you're about to find out. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today for another installment of the Top 10. Now guys, we have a lot to cover in today's video. I hope you don't mind going over some numbers and some MTG finance. We have a lot to cover in today's video. Don't forget, if you're shopping on TCG Player, to use my affiliate link. Click on the link in the description of my videos and it helps my channel. Now let's check out the number 10 card. Now this week we are starting out at a lower number. This is Innkeeper's Talent, a highly played and highly sought after card for Standard right now. It does only have 965 sales, which is of course a lower number than we're usually seeing at this time of a release schedule for new products, but that doesn't really surprise me due to its price point and players hoping it's going to drop. Now, it still had $20,265 of total sales volume because this card as a 1 green 1 generic is kind of insane, being able to put +1/+1 counters on your stuff every time, giving things ward, and then of course leveling this thing up to get double all kinds of crazy counters. It just puts more and more counters on your stuff. It makes it more and more desirable, and that just means this card's going to keep getting played. Players may hope the price is going to go down, but supply and demand is going to find out exactly where this card falls. Now let's go and take a look at our number 9 card this week, and it's 3 Tree City, again still showing strong results this week as this card comes in at number 9 with 1,156 sales this week, or $26,981 of sales volume. Again, a lower number, but that's probably due to the price point of this card. Now this thing comes in at $23.34 of total sales volume, but let's not forget that this legendary land really does have a lot to offer multiple formats, and that's going to continue to see this card getting bought up in volume. Also, the multiple types of this card being found in collector boxes means there's going to be that residual interest. Now as a legendary land, it comes into play. You choose a creature type, it does cap for colorless, but you can also pay 2 and tap it, choose a color, and add an amount of mana equal to the number of creatures you control of the chosen type. That's really going to be a powerful thing in tribal theme decks. It's something to always be paying attention to in the market space, because this card, even after it rotates out, is going to have a price tag attached to it, which means it's not going to be cheap, okay? Now let's go ahead and take a look at number 8 this week, and this is Into the Floodmaw. Now I'll be honest, it's a 55-cent card. I didn't see this one coming in, but 1,560 sales this week still added up to a good sales volume. Now that doesn't translate into a very expensive card though. At 55 cents, we're only talking $858, and although the sales volume of the card is telling us that people are interested, the price tag of course means it's a cheap card. So what are we talking about? Well, Into the Floodmaw is a 1 blue instant. That's important, it's good. It does have Gift a Tapped Fish, but the card reads, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. If the gift was promised, instead return target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its hand. Versatility is important. Blue control, getting things away in the battlefield in case you don't have a counterspell, is going to make the difference in a win-loss scenario. This card is going to continue to see sales, and there's a reason why. Players are trying it out and they realize it's going to work. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what's coming up next, because now we're into a card that's going to break Bloomburrow's streak. That's right, guys. We have Sink into Stupor, the only card that's managed to crack the list a couple times and threaten entering the Bloomburrow dominated world of the top 10 right now. Average price $5.17. That's 1,745 sales, or over $9,000 in sales volume. This Modern Horizons 3 card continues to see a lot of action. For 2 blue, 1 generic, this thing says you can return. Can you believe this, guys? Remember, it's also a land, but it says you can return a target spell or non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. And if you don't need that, you can get the mana you need by paying some life and putting into play tapped or untapped, depending if you pay the life or not. This is a great card. It continues to see a lot of sales. It continues to, get players buying it, which means this card that used to be a $2, $5, $7, it's been going all over the place, but now we're settling at the $5 mark, and it seems to be holding its place. A lot of uncommons seem to be worth a lot more money than they should be in the old world of 3 or 4 years ago. Now here we go into our next card, and this is Yagra, the Eater of All. This thing has made the list before because of Seeds of Innocence from the reserve list. Although that card has massively dropped in value, this card continues to see sales action. 2,210 sales, or $34,829.60 of total sales volume is kind of insane to think about, okay? Now, when you're looking at this card, that 1576 range, it's a 6/6 for 5. It's got Ward, Sacrifice of Food. This thing is kind of an insane card, right? So when we take a closer look, though, and recognize what it can do in things like Commander, this is where it gets special. Other creatures are food artifacts in addition to other types, and have 2, sacrifice this permanent, you gain 3 life. Whenever a food is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on the Eater of All. But what people do is they just blow up the battlefield with Seeds of Innocence, and you get all the counters at once. Now for our next card, another cheapie. This is $1.54. It had 2,543 sales. This is Artist Talent. Now, $3,916.22 is actually pretty respectable sales, especially weeks and weeks after release for this card. And I have played against this several times on Arena, and only one time so far in an actual standard match on a Friday night. So I'm looking at this card, I'm seeing how it's being utilized, and I've got to say it shouldn't be very expensive, but yes, it's going to see some play. Remember, it's a 1 red, 1 generic, okay? And it says whenever you cast the non-creature spell ability, blah, 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 you go down, and then it says the main power, go to level 3. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +2. It's like adding a little bit of oomph to everything you do later on, and it's easy to level up. Cards like this are going to see utilitarian purpose. Now, okay, let's jump to Fountain Port. Now we're getting to something very interesting that needs to be talked about. As the number 4 card with 2,790 sales, this card continues to see solid sales, solid interest, and that's again because of that versatility. Now, $15,233.40 of total sales action. But when you look at the card and the multiple abilities it offers for people, this is where things get in. Now, I'll be honest, in Standard, this has not been a threat to anything I've played. I've seen lots of people utilize this, and I myself am not using it. Being able to sacrifice a token and draw a card, pay 3 life, get the fish, or create your own treasure token has never come into play when I have been playing a standard match on Arena or in a live match. They've never had the game go long enough to make this truly a threat. But using it in Commander, I can see how this might be one of those cards you want to add to your deck, okay? For Standard, I haven't seen it. Maybe it's been out there. You guys will comment. You'll let me know I'm wrong, but we'll get there. Okay, our next card, Dawn's Truce. Now, this card started out really hot, and now it's dropped down, okay? 3,080 sales, but it's only a $5.07 card now. That's $15,615.60 of the sales action, which is interesting to note because this hasn't been on the top 10 for a few weeks now. Okay, when Bloomburrow pre-orders came out, it kind of made the list temporarily. It got kicked off, it came back, it got kicked off, and now we're back again because as the price falls, interest in this card seems to be growing, okay? 1 white, 1 generic, Dawn's Truce, love the artwork. Instant card, gift a card, okay? Now it says, you and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. If the gift was promised, then permanents you control also gain indestructible. Now for any destroy board wipe, this is a critical card, okay? Critical. Remember it because it's going to keep getting bought. Now, okay, here we go. Caretaker's Talent. $10.99, 3,001 sales, which is $36,277.99. Guys, we all see this thing getting played. And right now with the Forge, this is the deck I'm using right now in Standard. And it is blowing things up, okay? Now, I admit that you have to get the right draw, but when you get out a Forge, you have this guy going, you're pumping up your token armies with the +2/+2 at the end, you're copying tokens of your stuff, which in this case, you copy the Forge guy, you get him pumped up to like a 6 or a 7, and then you do something to copy it, and then you get this giant guy that's going to sit there every turn. This is an amazing card. It is being highly sought after and utilized, and that's going to be something we're going to talk at the end of the video during the wrap-up about what's happening in the market space for Bloomburrow. You're not going to want to miss that section today, guys, so stick around for the end of the video, okay? Because we have a lot more to talk about with this card. Now, when we're taking a look at our next card, the number 1 card of the week, it is Patchwork Banner. This card is $3.50, 3,890 sales, $13,615 of total sales action. Now, people were telling me this card's kind of hard to come by, but so far in the areas and markets I am checking, There has been no trouble, no difficulty getting this card. I admit it's still an expensive card for an uncommon. I have people have to pay $5-6 Canadian to buy it, depending on where they are, but it's still available, okay? It's still around. Now, as a 3 casting cost artifact, okay? And again, you can have 4 in your deck, right? Patchwork Banner enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type get +1/+1. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, which again, it's a pretty good effect, okay? A lot of stuff going on there, and when mixed in with things like the Caretaker talent, you can get a lot of oomph for your money. This is a good card for the price point. Now let's finish things off by talking about the wrap up, because I want to touch base on a few things about Bloomburrow. The market for Bloomburrow is very interesting because it's a little bit different from what we've seen from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Assassin's Creed, all these other sets we've seen, including Mirza Karlov Manor. It has longer staying power. Now, what I mean by that, you see cards like Caretaker's Talent, $10 card, Innkeeper's Talent, and also the Scavenger's Talent, which did make the top 10, but there's a lot of these cards, these talents, these level up cards, just like the creatures that used to level up. When you see these cards out there and seeing them played so often, a lot of players try to build that deck. And that's causing that supply chain issues. Not many copies available in certain areas. Players can't find the card. They go on TCG Player. They go Card Market, Card Kingdom, whatever, to find these cards. But what I've noticed, collector boxes, play booster boxes, intro boxes, steady to high sales still. I want to remind you guys of this. Intro decks, like that starter kit, still selling very well, okay? Play booster boxes, they're selling a lot of boxes still. Weekly. Collector boxes, still being sold and in quantity. This has not happened, okay? It hasn't happened. The money has moved on every time except for this one. The money has moved on. But for some reason, people keep coming back to Bloomburrow and buying boxes. Yes, packs are being opened too, but specifically I just want to mention to you guys, boxes are being bought. And they're being bought in number. And there are cards out there like the Caretaker's Talent and these types of uncommons which seem to be holding higher value points, and they get traded in at higher value points. And that means some of these boxes are actually worth buying and opening, I guess, because I can't understand other than that reason why somebody would try to get this many boxes and utilize this many unless they're saving them for the future or just cracking them, selling them, or having a draft night, I guess, with friends. But when you take that myriad of reasons of what it could be and you recognize how many boxes are being sold, and I mean, you can just go check on TCG Player, but I'm checking TCG Player, I'm checking regular stores here, Canada, overseas, US, wherever I've got contacts, I check local numbers in the areas I'm checking, okay? It's way higher. Stores have been asking for refills, which is unusual, for especially again since Mirza Karlov Manor. This is going to be, I'll be interested to see what happens with Duskmorn, but the market right now is still solidly in the corner of Bloomburrow right now, and that is something we have not seen in a very, very long time for any amount of boxes to go on this long. So keep that in mind, okay, guys? Thanks a lot for hanging out. Thanks for being here on the channel. Drop some comments in the comment section. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. We're getting really close to 24K, and we're almost at the halfway mark of the 50K goal, which is insane. Thanks again, everyone, for making it happen. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Reserve List Top 10, and of course, my live stream will be up here at the other property. That's why you see a green screen here. That will be happening here at my other property, which means the Patreon giveaway, the monthly giveaway for my patrons, that is going to be next weekend when I'm back at the other property when all the stuff is there and Mrs. Mox can do all the stuff, okay? So thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for being here, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. And of course, we still will have a Sunday live stream. And since it's up here, it probably won't be interrupted. I'll see you guys then. Have a great one. Welcome back to the end credits. These are the patrons of the channel. These are the supporters who make it happen each and every day. Because of these patrons, we get to do daily uploaded content for everybody on YouTube. So I've always got to give that personalized shout out each and every day to my patrons, to my YouTube membership members for allowing me the honor of being here on the channel with you every day. Thanks again, guys. I will see you tomorrow, of course, with another video. Okay, welcome back. You are here in my special place. My happy place. Remember Happy Gilmore? Go to your happy place? Yeah. It's kind of it for me, actually. Everything else is good in life, but this is kind of... Maybe you guys are my happy place. Because I'm usually happy when I'm with you guys. Now, It's okay. You can have a tender moment once in a while. Nobody's getting hurt here. So here we're going, guys. Bloomburrow sales are 17 times what Murders at Karlov Manor were at the same price time, the same time in its lifespan. 17 times greater. Outlaws of Thunder Junction, 10 times higher. You don't even want to know how bad it is for Assassin's Creed. I didn't even bother keeping up with the math. It got ridiculous, like 30 times greater than Assassin's Creed. So I'm not even going to go. It was beyond 30, but I stopped there. Guys, and it's sealed product I'm talking about. The single sales are really crazy too. For this many weeks out, nothing's really cracking into the top 10 but Bloomburrow cards. This is crazy. And you know, when I kept doing the counts later on and going down the list to see if other cards were going to kind of get a chance to catch up, not even close. Not even close. I think one was that the big heist, the Raptor guy, was one of the closer ones at like 300 or 400 copies. Maybe a little bit lower than that. Was it 2 something when I quit? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It wasn't even really a debate. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens when Duskmorn gets close. We start seeing spoilers. But it looks like right now, players didn't want to go with anything to do with really Assassin's Creed, and they're all still looking at Bloomburrow like it's like the hot ticket item. And the sealed market sales kind of definitely tell you that something's going on that's a little bit different. So keep it in mind. Have a good time. Enjoy the day. I can't wait to hang out with you guys this weekend. It's awesome. I'll see you at the live stream. All right. Okay. No, I got to come back. Come on. You didn't really think I was going to leave you, did you? No, I do have to go. I got to start counting reserve list cards. Okay. See you soon.